Hey folks, how's it going? This is Seagull here, back with another discussion video. So I've seen other people talking about the possibility of a pack focusing on teenagers. This is because of a recent survey I talked about in a previous video that included some interesting topics like story progression, bands, and a variety of different worlds. But there's something odd about it. Teens are left out towards the end, where you're asked how much you want different gameplay and creative sim assets for the different age groups in the game. Sure, there are a couple of features earlier on that focus on teens, like the American high school, which I think might make high schools playable in a similar way to active career workplaces seen in expansion packs like Get to Work and Get Famous. And the cheerleading feature could be attached to that too. And also, maybe shopping malls if you wanted to recreate 16 in The Sims. Wait, that would actually be really good. That'd be really good because the characters from that show I think would fit very, very well as Sims. But still, it just seems weird to leave out teens out of the age group sections, especially when young adults, and elders are all included, and those three age groups tend to get all the same things. I was waiting to see if any of the sim gurus might say something like, "Oops, sorry, we forgot to include teens on those parts of the survey." But no, that never happened. What's funny too is that the survey before this one, that was back in January, seemed to heavily hint at a winter activities pack, asking about features like skiing, snowboarding, mountain climbing, snowshoeing, and more. That case seems even less subtle to me. I'm thinking sometime in 2021 we are going to get a winter resort game pack. I wonder if the weirdness surrounding teens in the most recent survey is hinting at another game pack, but this one expanding on teenagers? Game packs are smaller than expansion packs, but game packs go deeper on its main feature than if it were included in an expansion pack amongst other features. And now that Country Livin' is possibly the next expansion pack, a whole expansion based on teens is looking less likely, at least for now, but I still think if they were going to do a pack on teenagers, it just makes more sense to fit the description of a game pack than a whole expansion pack, because if we were to do a whole expansion pack, then it would make more sense to do all age groups and not just teenagers, kind of like The Sims 3 Generations, which is something a lot of people are asking for. I think teens could use more features to distinguish themselves better from adults. I remember when the game first came out, I had a hard time even telling teens and adults apart. And then in an update, Maxis added the age group in that bubble you see whenever you hover your cursor over a sim and it shows their full name. That's how bad it is. I definitely did not have that issue when teens were first introduced back in The Sims 2, or in The Sims 3 either. It is nice that in The Sims 4, teens get all the same clothing as the older age groups, since teens look so similar to them, so they don't have the same issue as children and toddlers where they get less clothing with all of the packs. But that doesn't mean they should also play so similarly, too. There's some stuff from The Sims 2 in particular I think they did correctly, one of them being an acne system. We did get acne in Parenthood, but the pimples were added through Create a Sim as cosmetics rather than naturally popping up in-game. I was really disappointed natural acne did not return with that game pack. Another neat thing from The Sims 2 is that teens could sneak out of the house by calling up another sim late at night asking if they'd like to go out. That other sim will appear in a car, and your sim disappears off the lot with them. Unfortunately, you don't actually follow your sims off-lot, but there's a couple of interesting possibilities attached to this. If your sim's parents see them sneaking out, they'll lecture them and send them to bed. And even if the teen successfully sneaks out, there's a chance they'll be caught by the cops while they're out, and you'll see them return in a cop car. I think that'd be so cool to have in The Sims 4, but with the option of following your sneaky teen instead of it just being a rabbit hole interaction. I also think it was a neat idea that in The Sims 3, teenagers could go to prom. And since this idea of teens having their own game pack would revolve around a playable high school, then prom should also be upgraded to be visible instead of a rabbit hole. Same also goes for the graduation event from The Sims 3 once your teen is about to age up. It kinda sounds like I'm asking for a lot of playable stuff, but to balance this out, I would not have this pack include a new world, since like Parenthood, which also did not have a new world, it would be made to integrate into your existing game. The high school would be a new location, but it'd be like the police station and hospital in Get to Work, where they are hidden lots that you can't just access from the map, and they reuse a lot of assets from Willow Creek, to the point where you can imagine it's just another district in that world that we have not seen before. However, with the power of cheats, you would still be able to edit the high school, but you just have to do it while one of your teenagers are there. Though, now that we're on that topic, I think it would be good if there was an option through the phone where we could go to any of those hidden lots whenever we want. I know there's a mod that can do that for us, but I'd still like to have that option in the game, so even though I'm sure a playable high school would be done this way that I'm talking about, at least it would be a lot easier to go in and edit things whenever you want instead of waiting until a weekday and then have your teenager go there and then you follow them there and then you have to edit the school while they're there. No, it's it'd be a lot easier to just do it pretty much whenever you want to. Even though hidden lots can be annoying, there is also a benefit of not having to worry about where you're going to place the high school in your existing worlds because, as I'm sure many of us know, Sims 4 is pretty lacking when it comes to space, since you can't add more lots than the existing ones to the world, and there's no create a world tool, and I'm not sure if that's even ever going to happen. Another thing from The Sims 3 that I think could fit nicely in a teen's game pack is sleepovers. This feature could actually be available from children and older, so that this particular feature is not exclusively for teens because, I mean, yeah, when I think sleepovers, I think teenagers, but I think this should be available to everybody too, as a little bonus. But I think it would be great to have an event where you have it last throughout the night, and you'd have the option to assign and send guests to bed instead of just waiting and hoping the Sims go to sleep on their own. We could also have back the sleeping bags that are placed on the floor in case you don't have enough beds. The couch could also be a sleeping option, but the sleeping sim could have a blanket covering them. Not only would that be adorable, but it would also help tell you that a sim is in fact sleeping on the couch instead of just taking a nap. Maybe the blanket could even be an object you slip into your inventory, much like the umbrellas, so that you have different swatches to choose from that match your sim's personality. And sleeping on the couch, of course, would be available anytime instead of just the sleepovers. You could also tell the story of maybe your teen has run away and is staying over at their friend's house, so they're sleeping on the couch and they brought their blanket with them. So yeah, I think that could be a really nifty new feature that we haven't had in previous Sims games. And I just realized another thing they could bring back from the Sims 3 Generations in this pack are more prank interactions. We already have that whole mischief menu in social interactions, but I think they could add a few more that we did have in The Sims 3, like having the whoopee cushion on the couch and being able to put hair dye in the shower so it changes the Sims hair color when they come out, and stuff like that. So I think that would be another thing where it's like, oh, these sorts of teen hijinks that can go on, and I think that'd be really cool if you could do some while at the high school too. And I don't know why I just thought of this. This one was not in any previous Sims games, but I just thought of a random prank interaction where it's like something out of a cartoon, where you could just leave a banana peel on the floor and a Sim could just slip and fall, and they could reuse the falling animation from Seasons when Sims slip on a puddle, so it wouldn't be too difficult to implement, I don't think. A couple of other things I want to mention before I end this video are related to transportation, because whenever we get cars back in The Sims 4, I really hope we do, since a lot of people, including myself, are asking for them, that teenagers can also have the driving lessons that we had in The Sims 3. They would have to be a rabbit hole interaction, since we don't have the open worlds and not all neighborhoods have roads attached to them, but I still think it would be good to have that requirement so teenagers can't just drive right away, but they could still earn the ability to do that. And I think they should also get skateboards. We haven't had playable skateboards in The Sims before, and I think that'd be really awesome, and it is something that is often associated with teenagers, so maybe there could be a little skate park section nearby this school that'd just be out in the public space, so you're not just inside the school all the time. If you don't want to be, you can actually do some stuff outside too, like skateboarding, and yeah, I think that potentially could be a lot of fun. I don't just want to suggest ideas from the previous games, I also want some new stuff as well. So that's pretty much it. Those are the main things that I would like to see if we were to get a teenage game pack in The Sims 4. I do think it is awfully suspicious that they didn't really have teenagers in parts of the survey where it seems like they should be available, so I don't know, maybe they are considering a teenage game pack. We did get teen style stuff in The Sims 2, even though that was just a stuff pack, not a game pack, but at least it would not be the first time that they did a teenage focused pack in the history of the franchise. So feel free to let me know, what would you like to see in a teenage focused game pack? And be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!